You and your family have spent the last 20 years or so moving between countries, raising children. Jamaica, Germany, New York, Canada, South Africa. What does home mean to your family right now?
Jamaica is always my home, but
what did stability look like for your kids?
when we think about stability, it means that there is no change, there's constant. But when you think about life, there is no such thing. Even if you're not moving countries, there's always change happening.
Now that I'm trying to rebuild my village here for my little one, I found that I've done quite a bit of making community and building friends through church. What did you do to try and build community around you?
When I moved into my neighborhood, I actually go to a few doors and gave them, and that's where connection started.
You see that on TV, when what has been the most difficult part of having to transition? This is Momversations, as told by Canadian immigrants, live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca. I'm your host, Kristina McPherson, and this is a limited series that's going to dive into the real conversations about mothers, motherhood, identity, rebuilding, and building life here in Canada. This episode, we're going to talk about what it means to create stability when life keeps on changing. Dr. Davis, welcome.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Glad to have you. And I was sharing with you earlier, but never got into it. But when I grew up in Jamaica, I grew up across the street from my grandfather. And up the hill, I had an uncle, auntie, cousins. And down, literally up the hill, okay? Not the Jamaican, walking distance. And down the street, I had my mom's dad, another uncle, auntie, cousin.
Wow.
Okay? So I always had family nearby. And then I moved to Canada. And
you look around?
My daughter does not have the same experience. She doesn't. No grandparents dropping by unless they're visiting, but for a short while. And no built-in village in the same way. Yeah. And now I'm finding myself having to rebuild intentionally. And I've only moved once, you see. And that has come with its own set of challenges. Yes. You, however, Madam CG, you and your family have spent the last 20 years or so moving between countries, raising children. Yes. So you're talking about Jamaica, Germany, New York, Canada, South Africa.
Yes.
I never get that one. So on the list. So you've been on diplomatic assignment, moving around. What's it like as a mom? What's it like to what does it take to create stability when things only keep moving?
Oh, well, yeah, it's when we moved first, we were just a newlywed couple, and so the experiences there was certainly different from when we had a toddler. We were focused around ourselves, employment, housing, recreation, and here and there we'll touch base with our families. And then when we started to grow our own family, we have to think about nanny and daycare. We have to think about schooling. We have to think about adjustment to social life, friends, and how we build. When we think about sustainability in our partnerships and our relationships, we think about, as you said, your uncle was just down the road, your cousins, I'm sure, right? So we have to think about, okay, so in this new way of living, how do we ensure that he's building relationships that are meaningful and that he can rely on? And so those are part of the conversations, the thoughts, the prayers that we go through each time we need to move. It's scary. It has been scary, lots of tears. But it has stretched me in ways that I would not have even imagine. And so I can sit here with a deep appreciation of persons who leave their homelands and go to different places with their families in tow. So,
yeah. And what did you have to do at each place to create stability? What did stability look like for your kids?
Yeah, I think, when we think about stability, sometimes we may think that it means that there is no change, there's constant. But when you think about life, there is no such thing. Even if you're not moving countries, there's always change happening. Whether you're moving into a new phase of your life, change of jobs, maybe you have sold your house or you need to rent a new place. There's always change. So just as though you walk through life experiencing joy and sadness even at the same time, stability can and is possible even when life is changing. And it's the structures, the routines, that you have built around you, regardless of where you are. You know, that is the stability that we have held on to.
And I guess, what have you found that has been helpful in creating that inside stability? Like what did you find that helped them to adjust when you did have to move, or in preparing to move even?
Identity. You have to have a strong sense of self, those values that you hold on to. So even when you're not around those core family members that you have grown up to know and to trust, knowing who you are and those values, it helps. And so reminding ourselves of who we are, reminding our children of who they are, it helps to say to them, even in the midst of leaving your friends, your school, your community, your church, because we are Christians, leaving everything you know and going to a new place, you will be okay, because you have us and you have yourself. And then creating routines. Tuesday nights for us is veggie nights.
Okay.
So whether we are in Canada, Jamaica, New York, it's still veggie night. It's still a Tuesday. We create family time around the dinner table. So even if we're busy and we can't have dinner together in the weekdays, we try to have that on weekends. So we try to make sure that routine is part of our lives, of our children's life. And so those structures help. Even when things are moving, you still can rely on certain things. Prayers together, those are things that we do. And so it helps.
Nice. Okay, well, that's helpful. And now that I'm trying to rebuild my village here for my little one, I mean, I found that I've done quite a bit of making community and building friends through church, through the diaspora community, through mutual friends. Now, each time you kind of had to redo that, it sounds like, maybe. What did you do to try and like build community around you?
It also depends on the phase of life that you're in, right? So when it's young children, it's a little bit different from when they're preteens or teenagers. When they're going to school, schooling, there are some things that it's almost, I would say, universal across the world. Education is one, right? So the education institution. When we're moving from New York to Canada, I was able to get my children in school from before we even bought our tickets. Because I knew that they need their school records. I knew the general vicinity I was going to be in, and I reached out to the schools, and they are very responsive. They tend to be. Schools tend to be responsive because it is a transition that is regulated. It's normal, it's natural for children to be in schools, and so schools tend to be receptive. So you can plan ahead with those types of things. We also do research on the country, like what's exciting about the culture, and like one of our sons is into plains and geography, so we try to talk about the landmass and proximity, and he said, Canada has the most friendly people in the world. So that was a draw for him. And so those are, we try to build excitement and adventure around the place that we're gonna go. And then when we're here, we try to connect, because oh my God, yes, I'm from Jamaica, and you can find a Jamaican everywhere you go. So you try to ask your uncle or your cousin, who do you know, if you don't know anyone? And the African diaspora is quite big as well. Persons coming out of Europe diaspora is big here as well. So I'm sure there's someone that you know, even if you don't know someone from the place, that you could reach out to and say, oh, I'm going to Canada, I'm going to Toronto, can you connect me to someone?
Yeah.
And connection starts from there, even before you arrive. And then one of the things that I tell people that I did was, when I moved into my neighborhood, I actually go to a few doors and gave them Jamaican treats, just to, and a little note that says, hi, you know, this is where Kurt and Suzanne just, you know, talk about our names, our children, and where we are, the exact address. And a few persons came and knocked on our door, and that's where connection started. So we have to also step out of ourselves and engage with community in different spaces.
I love that, actually. I could take a page out of that
Please.
book, because
You're welcome.
because you see that on TV, when they bring the pie.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
where
yes.
are your neighbors?
I know, yes.
Here's pie. It's real.
Yeah, it's yeah. Don't wait for the pie to come to you.
No, you can go.
Yeah. Whether if you bake but we bought Jamaican treats. So
Yeah.
we were also and that's part of our identity. We
Yes.
wanted people to know that, hey, your neighbors are Jamaicans and we live here and we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So we made the first move, and we have German friends in our neighborhoods, Iranians, just because of that first step. People are also friendly and they want to talk to you, but they're not sure, because there's also the cultural divide, so we have to help to be the bridge.
Yes.
And so that has helped.
I appreciate that. Can we bring that back? No, because like sometimes in the elevator, people will come and stare dead in your eye.
I know.
But maybe I have to be the one to say hello.
Yes. And that's how children help too. I was in the elevator once in New York, and my son was coming from karate, and he just looked at this person, he just started to tell them that he was made in Jamaica. It was made in South Africa and born in Jamaica.
Oh, he was born in South Africa?
No, we decided that we wanted him to be born in Jamaica.
Okay.
So we left South Africa just to make sure.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, my husband is like that.
Yeah. Jamaican to the bone.
To the bone.
Awesome. So did it get easier each time? Because now you're speaking with years of experience, and I guess you learned it along the way. Did rebuilding get easier each time, or?
I don't know if easier. I think it also depends on the individual, and some of us are a little bit more stubborn than others. We need a little bit more of a nudge, especially if you have set up a good livelihood, a strong community. Sometimes I still feel like kicking and screaming when I hear that, okay, time to go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to start over again. But it get easier from the point of view that the systems and the processes that you should be putting in place when you move to a new location. That you need to be looking at school. It's like you almost have a blueprint of the bigger elements that you need to do. And then on the ground, you have to just step out of yourself again and just try to connect to different communities. And then from there, you will find your own guide.
Yeah, and I think that's having been introduced to you, CG, and our diaspora community, because I've been in Canada for a while and I was not in touch with the diaspora community. So this is your sign to connect to the diaspora community. The Jamaican diaspora has a big, large community. That's the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council, and they're representatives of each. That is community, is part of probably the village that you're going to have to rebuild.
Yes.
If there was one thing, because you said sometimes the kicking and screaming, you feel like you get used to it, but then you don't. What has been the most difficult part of having to transition?
I think too, mindset, because as a mom, a wife, a daughter, I have to make sure that even in the kicking and the screaming, that my mind is right. Like I understand the vision so that I can clearly articulate that to my children, my mom, and those around me. So I need to get in that space very quickly.
Yeah.
And then also I am a working mom, so getting employment or securing employment from scratch each and every time is arduous. It sometimes is such a heart-wrenching experience, but again, it builds me. And it has helped me to launch out into my own consultancy. I think after the fourth time moving, I was like, okay, the 9 to 5 does not work anymore. And so, I have been able to launch into my own space. And that has been because of, the necessities that arise out of this type of things. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And 2 things just came to mind. So I don't want to ask 2 questions at once, but I did note, you just said you're as a daughter, and I did notice that your mom's here. Hi, Mom. So she's with you. She travels with you. She goes with you.
Yes, she's so I'm a caregiver as well. So they say once a man, twice a child. So I have to take care of my mom just as how I take care of my children. She's one of my children now. My dad called me his mother since I was early 20s. I've been a mom before I gave birth. So I take care of my mom now. My dad passed. So I was taking care of him as well.
And they would be with you wherever you go on missions?
Only my mom.
Okay.
Only my mom.
Okay.
Well, she started after the second. Yeah.
So this is a Michelle Obama scenario right here. This is our first lady, of Toronto. Well, I think that's an important, you brought the village with you.
No, absolutely.
And that helped.
Yeah, that helped a lot. I could not have done work and raising family, going back to school, did my PhD in New York, and securing jobs and employment without my mom and my husband fully behind me. Would be almost impossible for me, but I know others have done it without that support. So kudos to them.
What does home mean to your family right now as a moving family? What does home? No matter where in this world you go, you are Jamaican. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jamaica is always my home. But home is where we are. Yeah. There's a mantra. There's something that says like home is where you are, right? You have to make home where you are. And so love and grace are key parts of that. So we try to be a very loving family, open to change is important, and we try to have our children live that. I spoke to our son he's at university away, and I said, how is life? And he's like, life is living. I'm like, okay, life is living. I'm not sure what that is, but he is, taking it as it comes. And that's what we try to say. If there is difficulties, we're here to support you. And regardless of where you are in the world. And hopefully we're crafting global citizens, ones that they don't need to be anchored to any physical geographic location, but they just carry home and love where they go. And hopefully we'll make it a better place to live.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think what makes this conversation meaningful is that though families may not move to several countries like you are, like I am able to relate just by having to move one time, right? And having to rebuild. And almost everybody experiences that version of rebuilding, right? And so looking back now, what have you learned about creating stability through the changes that an immigrant family may need to hear?
Oh, that's a good question. What have I learned? That I can do anything that I set my mind to, that I'm more than what I think. Because stability, especially for moms, it actually starts with us. If we are not secure or stable in where we are, how we're thinking, then it's going to be hard for the children to be able to find that place for themselves as well. So we have to find it for ourselves and then communicate that to our children in different ways. And I have also experienced just love of people and love of community. we have a saying, a proverb, like you don't know what you have until you lose it, or something like that. When I leave all my friends, especially those that I went to high school with and stuff, it's very hard. But the world has become so much smaller. Technology is like talking on WhatsApp. Call is like the person is in your location. So it's not as difficult. So now, yeah, with the advent of all the AI tools, the technology, and telecommunications, I feel it's so much easier to adopt and to change and to embrace instability. It's really it's really just different forms of life that you're just going through. Yeah.
Nice. I appreciate that. And you've been an amazing guest. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I think there's a lot of wisdom here to learn, even if you're transitioning just once. And go knock on your neighbor's door.
Yes.
And I'll go knock on mine when I get home. This is my vow. Oh my God, what am I doing? Because sometimes it's, your village could be the person next door.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be the person next door. Well, I have a gift for you as we approach Mother's Day. If I knew your mom was here, I would have one for her too. But this is a journal for you. It says, "Dear self, you are enough.
I am.
Thank you so
much.
As you are, you are enough. You are enough."
Thank you so
much. That
much.
is for you. I appreciate you right now.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
And next, we're going to continue the conversation on stability, motherhood, and responsibility from a slightly different perspective. Nicole is a restaurant owner, mother, momtrepreneur. She's participating in this year's By Blacks Restaurant Week. And though we've talked about what stability looks like having moved around, what is that stability, that mom responsibility when we're carrying responsibility as a mother, as a business owner, and the daughter of immigrants? We're going to hear from Nicole right after this break.
By Blacks Black Restaurant Week, where you can get delicious food for discounted prices while supporting Black businesses.
I heard you guys heard about By Blacks Restaurant Week. How far are you guys getting? 35 minutes.
By Blacks is Canada's #1 online Black folks magazine.
Honestly, the best week because so many different Black restaurants come and bless us with some food.
Eat Black food.
If this moment resonated with you, you can watch the full Momversation episode right here. Or you can continue watching the whole Momversation series right here to tune into honest conversations about motherhood and that whole layer of immigration that makes motherhood so much more identity, immigration, and starting over here in Canada.